Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Today, we're going to have some fun. I'm going to show you a fun little technique that I've never tried before. That's always a good thing, right? But I kind of discovered it last night, and I'll tell you the story of how that came about while we're working on the project. And then I'm going to show you a fancy fold, sort of. It's not really a fancy fold, but it's a really fun way to make your card open. So we're going to do that as well today. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, happy crafter morning, evening, noon, everybody.
How are you?
Good. I'm better than horrible. Hope you're all staying cool out there.
Yeah, I saw somebody say that we brought the hot weather from Florida up to the Midwest.
Yeah, we did.
Guess
it's a hot, hot world out there.
It is. Really getting hot out there, but hopefully, we'll have a little heat wave and then it'll cool down again. So that's the hope, right?
That's what we're waiting for. Yeah, just a little bit. I don't mind the heat too much, because in Wisconsin, you got to grab it when you can. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because we'll be freezing this winter. We're supposed to have a polar vortex up here. So.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So let's make the best of it, right?
Yep. Just another polar. What's another polar vortex? Right?
Yeah. Right. We've been through so many. All right. Well, we'll be back later. You have a word of the day, right?
I just might have a word of the day.
Okay, good. Because we look forward to that. All right, everybody. Well, I want to show you the die sets that I'm going to use today. I pulled a few of the older ones out, and here they are. So this is the Fresh Cut Flowers, and I think I'm going to use this one. If you guys remember, I did a 5-minute card video not that long ago, and I made this card using a technique that used marbles. It was like I lost my marbles kind of thing, but I did that background using marbles. So I thought I would use this set once again. I love to make a couple different cards when I bring out something old. This way, you guys have a few new ideas, and I know so many of you have these Fresh Cut Flowers already. So this was a card that I made in a 5-minute card video. I think it was last week or the week before. It was probably the week before that, so a couple of weeks ago. But I'm going to be using that set again, that die set, but I'm going to be using this die this time. That card used this die. And then I might pull a couple little branches and things from this set, which is Spring Flowers. And then I'll probably grab a couple from here too as well, the Foliage Fillers. So, but the technique really comes from this die. So you can do this with any symmetrical detailed die. Oh, let me turn my phone down here. My friends are texting me. So any symmetrical, and when I say symmetrical, something that's round or that kind of has like a mandala shape to it, it would be better to use it with something like this. So I'll do the technique with this. Now I discovered this technique because my daughter Alicia and I have what we call coffee talk. And we do coffee and art dates. And I think I told you guys about that, where we FaceTime or we Zoom actually. And then she shares her screen with me and she designs art for our company. And we just talk. And a lot of times I have things sitting on my desk at the time and I just play with them a little bit. And I was playing with a couple of these die cut flowers and I came up with this. So I'm excited to share it with you. Now, another die set that I'm going to use today is this one right here. Oh, welcome, Michelle. Is this one right here. This is Master Layouts 13. And this is the new Master Layout set. Now, I know we did sell out of it, but we reordered it and more are on the way. So if this is something you didn't get a chance to get on the wait list because you'll be the first to hear about it when it comes back in. And I am going to be using a couple of these dies from here. I'm going to use this stitched triangle and the plain triangle that goes with it. And then I'm going to be using this small stitch rectangle and the plain one that goes with it for today's card. So I'm going to do a card. Now, if you don't have all the same materials to do this card, you can use other things, other stuff in your collection. You do not have to make yours exactly like mine, or you can just watch today and get some ideas. That's what these lives are all about. So I'm going to start with my die cutting machine, and I am going to get a piece of Innocent Pink cardstock. So I'm going to do Innocent Pink for this because I did it as a little sample when we introduced the new Master Layout set, and I really liked the way it looked. So for this, I'm going to use Master Layouts 2 because I want my stitching on my rectangle to match the stitching on my triangle. So let's get the rectangle, the stitch rectangle, and the plain rectangle from Master Layouts 2. Now, don't worry about trying to remember all the names of these die sets, because after the video, I always put in the description on YouTube everything that I used in the video. This way you could take a look at it, or you can look in your collection and see if you have it or you have something similar. Okay. Marcy, I think a few people do try to craft along because we do have people that have like a lot of our collection and they like to try to make the cards as we go. I think also some people might watch the video and then go back right after the replay posts almost instantly. And then they go back and they watch the replay and they craft along then. This way they can pause in between steps and they can zoom ahead during some of our silliness, which makes it nice if you're just here for the cards and not for the silly. Okay, so now I'm going to cut, I'm just straightening out my die a little bit. I'm going to cut this Master Layouts 2 plain rectangle out of a piece of black cardstock. Move this out of the way. Woo. Okay. And then I think some of our friends on Facebook were confused about our time today because Facebook posted the wrong time. I went in and fixed it, though, like 5 minutes before when I saw somebody's comment. So it's all fixed now. And I know it's playing live on Facebook because I have it playing right here on the side, I think. I think I do. Let's see. Do I? Hope I do. Yes, I do. Okay, so these two are going to go together, and I'm going to put this aside. Now, while I have this black piece of cardstock, I'm going to cut the plain triangle, and if I have room here, I'm going to cut, and I do, the plain rectangle. So these two dies are from Master Layouts 13. I'm just cutting all the components for the card right now, and then we're going to get to the technique. So hang in there for that. Okay. Oh, that makes some loud noise going through. Alrighty, I think I did that black piece of cardstock proud. Now I have these two pieces. Let me put Master Layouts 2 away so I don't lose anything, because you know me. It's real easy for me to lose stuff on this desk about 2 seconds into the process. So I have these two pieces. Now I'm going to cut some pattern paper. And I have a piece of pattern paper here from our autumn, what is this one called? Autumn Splendor Patterned Paper Pack. And we're going to reorder this. We weren't sure if we were going to or not, but we are going to reorder this because this was a very popular one. And now that autumn is close, I don't want to say it's too close, but it's close, I think we'll get this one back in. But you can use any pattern paper, or you can make your own with all of your beautiful stamps. Hello, friends. Okay, so you can see down here, I put the triangle here, the stitched, and the stitched rectangle here. And it does make a difference to have them straight when you're using pattern paper that has an up and down kind of thing like this. You don't want it to be too crooked. And if you're worried about it, you can always take a little bit of washi tape just to secure the die down. And I always tape it right to the die and then onto the paper. I try not to tape inside because the die cutting machine does press that washi tape down. And even though it's washi tape and it's low tack, sometimes it can tear the paper. So I'll just tape this down to be safe. We don't need it to be all crooked. Here we go. It's just washi tape. You can use pixie tape. You can use purple tape. You can use whatever you have in your collection for that. Okay, let's get this through. It's going to make a loud noise. Okay. There we go. Now, I love the little stitching that this provides, and I don't know how easy that is to see. Can they see the stitching in there, Tom?
Yes.
Okay, good. So this panel goes with this panel right here, like that. And then we've got the triangle, and I love this triangle shadow. I just love having the shadow for this. I think it makes a huge difference. This triangle goes onto here and creates the shadow layer. And it's got the stitching, which is really nice because it'll work really nicely with master layouts too, which is what we're using for our background. And I still have some here that I could cut out a flower or something else out of this. So I'm going to hold on to this. Okay. Now that we have these die cut pieces cut out, let me get rid of my die cutting machine. And we can figure out what we're going to do with our flower here. So I have a piece of white cardstock right here. Let me grab this off the side. Now, we're going to cut a couple of this flower. Okay, and you can see how beautiful that flower is. It is such a pretty flower. But we're going to cut a couple of them. And I am going to cut one. I have a few that I was playing with yesterday while I was talking to Alicia. So I thought I was done with my die cutting machine, but clearly I am not. So let's cut one of these flowers. I know that's kind of low. We're going to cut one of these flowers. All right. And then we are going to cut two of these leaves, all out of the white. And we'll cut that out. Alrighty, now I'm going to use this negative because I'm going to do a little bit of stenciling. And I'm going to use the negative there. And then I'm going to cut it out. All righty. So there we have one leaf. These drop out so nicely. We have another leaf. And then we're going to add a few other foliage pieces, but we're going to do some ink blending first. And actually, we could just do ink blending. I don't need a stencil. Now that I think about it, I don't need a stencil. So I'm going to put those dies back and let me clean off this. And then we're going to get to the ink blending. Now, sometimes when it comes to these types of designs, did I cut the wrong one? I cut the wrong one, guys. Did anybody notice that I cut the wrong flower? Only me? I cut the wrong one. Let me cut one more. This is the flower that I want. That would not have ended well. So I'm going to cut one of these real quick.
Come on, gee whiz.
I know, I'm sorry. I've been die cutting for 10 minutes here. Okay. Here we go. Goodness, I love this flower. Look how pretty this flower is. Oh, it's so pretty. And then all these little pieces will just drop right out. If you have a pokey tool like this, like the pick and stick tool, it's great. It just pops everything right out. And you can see how nicely these dies cut. Even look how intricate that is too. It's so skinny, but This is definitely one of my favorite flowers. You didn't notice? I know, I'm just going about my thing, just doing my thing. I kind of noticed that the shape of the flower was different on the negative piece. So otherwise I would have gotten all through it and then I wouldn't have had the right flower. Alrighty, now I can get rid of this. So I'm going to grab this piece of paper here and I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending. So the colors that I want to use today, since my card base is going to be, or my panel is going to be Innocent Pink, I definitely want to use Innocent Pink. And in case you missed it on release party night, one of the dies in Master Layouts 13 fits perfectly on the end of your ink pads. So if you have a little labeler, you could put the name in there, but you don't really have to. I don't even care about the name. I just look at the color like, all right, I want to grab that color. So you can just cut these out and it's got the little stitch design. You can ink the color on white and then cut it out and then slap it right on there with a little bit of tape. I think that's so fun. I'm going to use Innocent Pink and then I'm going to add a little bit of Dusty Rose. I think the Dusty Rose goes so well with the Innocent Pink. I love the combination. And here is a brush that's going to work. The name of the die set is Master Layouts 13. We only had a few thousand of them on release night, and they did sell out really quickly. But we ordered a bunch more. So if you are interested, just get your name on the wait list. It helps us, too, to know how much to reorder. And then when it comes back in stock and our warehouse puts it back into inventory, it shoots out an automatic email to you. So you're the first to know that it's back in stock before somebody who's just randomly searching. Okay, so I'm going to start with Innocent Pink. And I'm going to just do kind of a blended circle, starting in the center and just working my way out. And then I'm going to get darker in the center with that Dusty Rose. But if you want to be a little darker in the center, that's fine. You can see how soft and pretty that color is. Now we're going to be cutting it out with the matching open die. I didn't even pop this one out yet. The matching open die. So I can use this open die as a guide to make sure I've got enough pink and it looks shady enough. All right, I'm going to do a little more of this. So I definitely want it to be vibrant, even though it's a soft color. I want it to be at least as vibrant as the cardstock. And now I'm going to add a little bit of the Dusty Rose in the center. I have to do all my ink pads now because I'm so excited to use that die. I think it's going to look so cute. Okay.
So Sue wants to know what's the best master layouts to get first. Is that 2?
Well, I think 1 or 2, because that'll give you these panels that you can start with. But if you're very comfortable using a paper cutter for that and you want something a little bit more decorative, then you definitely should take a look at some of the card samples that are available on the website on each of those products, because you may see some cards that you want to make and you might think, okay, I want that master layout set because I want to make those cards. But I know a lot of people in the chat will probably share their opinions too. Okay, so now you can see I've got my flower here, and when you put this on top, you can see it's a little bit more vibrant in the center. But if you really want it more vibrant in the center, you can go back and add a little bit more, maybe even using a smaller blending brush so you can get a little more concentrated right in the center there, like that. And then we'll put this back on top. You can kind of see how that gives you a lot more vibrance right in the center. So let's go with that. I really like the way this looks. And then we're going to do something similar for the leaves. Now for the leaves, I think I'm going to just use my go-to, my jelly bean green, or Lucky Clover, and then maybe add a little bit of Turquoise Sea in there. I'll do Lucky Clover with a little bit of Turquoise Sea. This one, I'm going to do 2 oval blobs, kind of just oval. So I'm kind of going up and down like that.
What stamp set are those dies with?
There's no stamp set for these dies.
Oh, okay.
Yep, no stamp set. These are just standalone dies, and you'll find them on our website. We've got, if you click on dies and then you click on standalone dies, that's where you'll find all of the dies I'm using today, other than the master layouts. They're under the master layouts category. Okay, so we could kind of take a look at these. They're going to cut out nicely. I like the little bit of shading in there. So let's add some turquoise into this. Grab my turquoise brush, get a little turquoise sea. Then I'm just going to bring some turquoise in from the top. So it's not going to be the whole thing. Just so you have a little bit of that shading. So you can see this will kind of look like that. Or we can do it from the other way where you've got the turquoise. No, let's do it the other way and get the turquoise more at the top, because remember, we're going to tuck these leaves under the flower and we don't want to lose any of that turquoise. So that'll be the look. And if you want it a little bit darker, you could, you know, add another, let's see, what would be another good green? Maybe a little grass green in there at the bottom. We could do that, get a little grass green in there. Just to change up the green toward the bottom. Okay. And we'll kind of have a little darkness down there. And we can go back in and add color to the die cuts once we cut them. So let's cut these out now. We're going to cut these 3 out of the solid dies that come with that Fresh Cut Flowers die set. So there are solid ones that work behind the, like they're open. So I like to kind of position it first to make sure that I have it where I want it. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to cut that one there. And then we're going to be able to lay this right on top. And you can see it's darker in the center, lighter as it goes toward the edges of the petals. That's one pretty flower right there. Now we're going to do, my die plates are so dirty. We're going to do the leaves. So we need the 2 open leaves. We want to get some turquoise, some of that mid green, the Lucky Clover, and then a little bit of that grass green down near the bottom. And we'll cut those out. And so these are going to perfectly layer with those leaves. Now, if you look at these and you say, you know, I like it, but I wish there was more shading in there. Like I said, you can always go back. They're so pretty though, aren't they? But you can always go back and you can, you know, add a little bit more shading of the dark along the edge down there if you want it a little darker. Looks kind of nice. Getting it all over my fingers, but it looks kind of nice with the dark at the bottom. And then you can see once you place these leaves on top, that's going to be really pretty. Alrighty. Now we might make a few more foliage pieces before we're done, but right now we're going to stop with that, and I'm going to show you my little die cutting thing that happened to me. I almost shut the camera off overhead, so let's zoom in a little bit. Now I'm going to get my glue, and I'm going to glue one of these right onto here. Now I already have a couple other ones cut out. So you can do 2 or you can do 3 for this technique, whatever you like better. And let me get my glue ready. I've got my little Connect glue here. So you can see how pretty this looks just by itself. It's beautiful. If that's what you want, it's just beautiful. But look what happens, and this is what I was playing with. Look what happens when you layer them together and then you just turn them a little bit. Okay. Look at how beautiful. Look at that. That is so beautiful compared to just the plain one. Can you see that?
Offsetting.
Yes, you offset it just a little bit, and it just gives it so much depth. Let me zoom in a little more so that you guys can see that. See that? Isn't that so pretty?
That's pretty cool, and it creates little shadows, and it really looks
right.
Yeah.
And then if you add a third one, can you zoom those comments back down? If you add a third one, then look how more complex and beautiful. I have to be careful when I let go here, but look at that. When you add the third one, it just takes it to a whole new level, in my opinion. I love it. It's so beautiful. So, well, it might make you dizzy because it's not attached yet, but once it's all down, then it just looks like a super intricate die. So I really love doing this, and I think that it, really creates a more interesting flower. Again, the single one is just beautiful. So if you want to just do the single one and you don't want to do the technique, that's totally fine. You can just make the card with the single one. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to first place this one on top. Don't try to put them all together and then line it up with the pink one. Just get the pink one lined up with the one white one. And then you can go ahead and start staggering them a little bit. It'll be a lot easier to do one at a time and make sure that they look right and they look like they're in position where you want them. Okay. All right, so you saw that I got glue all over this, right? Now I'm just going to, remember, glue is forgiving, so you can move it around. And I'm just starting at one point and pressing that down and then making sure that the other point is even. And then I know this is all even. This point, even. And then this point. And now I've got that together and it's perfect. Isn't that nice? Love, love, love. Okay, now we're going to do the next one. And I'm not going to worry too much about the actual points themselves because they're going to be hanging over the edge a little bit, which is totally fine. They're going to be hanging over. It's giving me a little bit of spirograph vibes. Wasn't that the game, Tom?
Yeah, that's what a few people have said.
Oh, yeah? So fun. So I'm putting glue on everything but the actual points, because those are the things that are going to be hanging over the edge a little bit. And it really, some of this glue may not touch, but it's okay. It's all going to dry and it'll be fine when we adhere it to the card. Okay. It's kind of fun to pull out the old stuff. Somebody asked me one time, I'd like to look at what your company has to offer, but are you constantly only using your newest stuff? And I said, oh, no, not me. I don't design it if I only want to use it once. I love to pull out the old stuff. All right, so now we're going to stagger this, and I'm looking at this point and this point to make sure they look fairly even.
Again, what set is that die from?
This die is from Fresh Cut Flowers. And I'm making sure my center is even. And then you can see I've got a little pinwheel effect going in the center here. So now there's my second one. And that just gives you such a fun look. Now I could stop at 2, or I could go for the third one, which I kind of like the third one on there. So what do you guys think? Let's decide together. Is the third one too busy for you? Or do you like just the 2?
I like the 2.
You like the 2? Okay. All right. Just the 2. Okay. Most people are saying just the 2. A couple of you like the third one, but the good news is I've got 2 more over here. So for me, I can make another 2-pack and make a second card out of it. So I'm going to go with just the 2 for this, because I think that really does show off the technique really nicely. All right, so now let's assemble a little of this, and then I'm going to show you a fun fold. It's kind of a fun fold. It's just a really fun way to open. Oh, I guess we should let's put the leaves together first while the glue is out. Okay. So we'll put the leaves together. And, you know, I haven't tried this with the leaves, and I don't know how it would look. I feel like it's not right to do it with the leaves, because the whole thing about it is the idea that it's circular, so you get that kaleidoscope look. I don't think it will work with the leaves, but I'm not saying that it won't. I mean, it might look kind of cool, but I haven't tried it, and I don't want to do it today. I think this is going to be enough for underneath this beautiful flower. Oh yeah, most people are saying 2.
I wonder what it would look like with a different color.
The top?
The offset.
Oh, I bet it would look great with black. Oh, you mean having one a different color?
Yeah, like even just a color that's off a little bit, or a gray, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of think that to get this kaleidoscope look, they should be the same color. I think you're going to have better luck with getting that look if they're the same. But they could both be, you could use a totally different color scheme, like black or gray on top instead of the white, if you prefer that. Okay, so that's going to be the look of the flower. Now, we're going to do kind of a similar thing where I cut some of these out in black to add a little bit, but we'll actually do a little ink blending for those and cut them out, or we can cut them out of just white, which might be really beautiful. All right, so now I'm going to put these 2 panels together, and then I'm going to put the triangle panels together, and I'm going to lay the triangle panel up in the top corner. So, Tom, people are already asking for the word of the day.
Time for the word of the day?
Yeah, while I glue all this stuff together, I think it'd be a great time for the word of the day.
Okay, so today's word is a hyphenated word. And it starts with the prefix done.
Done.
Like the word D-O-N-E, done.
Like finished?
Finished.
Okay.
Okay. And so the word of the day today is dunderwear. Dunderwear. And I bet you know what this is. Dunderwear is undergarments that should have been retired a long time ago. But for some reason, they remain in the rotation and ultimately become like 3 elastic bands, just barely attached with
I'm laughing and I can't
ragged,
see.
screaming fabric that just is begging to be put out of service.
The
so
3 rings.
Right?
Yes.
So that's the word of the day, dunderwear.
That's great. I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, now we can. How do I follow that? Who cares about the card? Okay, so I'm going to put this up in the top corner here, like that. It's right, all men do have dunderwear. It's the favorite ones too, right? Dunderwear. Oh my God, so descriptive. I agree. All right, so I'm going to put this up here in this top corner. Pretty easy to line it up. Easy for me to say. Okay. And that just gives me that nice little decorative corner, a little bit of interest there. Now you can do your card, you know, it could be down here in this corner if you want. It could be, if you're doing a horizontal card, it could be like that. However you want to do it. Tom, they want a book of all the words of the day. I think you're going to have to do it. So I'm going to use a white card base for this so that we don't distract from the beautiful flower or the pinks. And then we're going to do this little fancy fold. Oh, I didn't fold this very well. Let me get my... If you ever don't have a perfect fold, you can just kind of straighten it out a little bit. And then get your tool and redo the top a little. That looks better. Dunderwear. I get the feeling they're going to razz you outside, Tom, when you go down to the warehouse. Because I know that somebody's always watching the video while they're working. Okay, now we've got this little panel here and this little panel. And this is going to become our card. So we have a card base here, but you don't need to do the full card base if you don't want to. You can just use a panel. In fact, I'll cut that off because this is actually going to be our little mini card. So let me cut this off, and this will just become an A2 panel. And I can use this white cardstock for something else. Ooh, that's a bad cut. Cut that a little better. There we go. Okay. So there's my A2 panel. And now this is going to become my card. So what I've done here is I've cut a little tiny card that measures 8 inches by 2.5 inches. And I folded it in half at the 4-inch mark. And this is going to become my little fun fold. So this card is going to open this way. And then you just have a single panel back here. So we will glue this down, but we're going to put a greeting on here first. So we'll get this in place. It's going to go in the middle. There's our little fun fold. And then you can see how this is going to frame out really nicely. See how that frames out? That's a nice framing. And we'll do our floral on here. And then we're going to put our greeting down here. So let's use a greeting from the new bundle, because I love the greetings in that bundle. Now we could always die cut a greeting if you don't want to stamp right onto this. I'm going to put a little bit of tape here so it doesn't move. I want it to stay still. And I really like this little hello love. So I think I'm going to use that. But you could even, if you wanted something smaller, you could do the happy birthday, you could do miss you. We'll do hello love. I haven't used this one yet. And we're going to keep it down low enough because remember our flower is going to go here. And then we've got leaves and some foliage that are going to go in there. So we want to keep it just a little bit low. Make Make sure that that's straight. And you guys know my straight, keeping it straight trick. So if you're not sure, especially with busy pattern paper underneath and you might not be able to see, all you have to do is get that stamp set and take off the index sheet of the stamp set and just lay it right on top. You can secure it down with a magnet. And then you're going to need your black ink pad or whatever color you're going to stamp your greeting in. And we'll ink that up just to take a look. We'll stamp it right onto the acetate. And then we can kind of get an idea. Well, the acetate moved, so if it stamps there, it's going to be quite the problem. Let me get my tidy towel. We'll just clean off the acetate, and we'll do that again. Let's get the acetate in place, and just to make sure it stays in place, because now I don't trust myself. I'm going to tape it down right here like this. There. Okay, we'll give it another whirl. That looks pretty good to me. I feel good about that. So I'm going to clean my acetate and then get rid of it. You can definitely use that washi tape again. And now I'm going to stamp my greeting. Hello, love. Hello, my love. I'm going to stamp it a couple times to get it nice and dark. Ooh, that looks good, doesn't it? Let's do it one more just because it's fun. Okay, that is nice and solid. So there's the greeting. So now, let me get this out of the way. And I think we're going to end up using just one gem in the center of this flower. But we'll see. If there's room for more, you can never have too much sparkle. But I know I'm using at least one. So now back to the card. Now we're going to adhere this onto the little tiny card base. In the middle there. Okay. And there's the little opening. That's fun. Okay, now we're going to pop this flower up for sure. And we'll get these over here. So I need a couple more pieces of foliage in there. So I think I'm going to do them in white because I don't want it to take away from anything. I don't want it to have too much green, but I do feel like it needs a little bit more around the outside. So before we completely assemble the card, let's cut a couple little white pieces of foliage. And for that, I'm going to use the Foliage Fillers die set, which is this one right here. I'm going to cut 2 of these, and I'll cut these 2 leaves. We could also cut maybe one of these. Let's cut one of these, and we'll see what looks best. So I have a piece of white cardstock here. I'm just going to lay all these dies on here. And then I'm going to search for my plate, which is under my paper cutter and my scoreboard. See, how does that happen? I don't even feel like I use that many things, but yeah, black foliage would probably look really good too. I'm going to try it with the white and see how it looks, just because I kind of like the way the black one looked, but maybe you're right. Maybe it'll need a little bit more. Oh, I kind of do like that. I do kind of like that. I mean, I like your idea of the black, but I really do kind of like this. Because it's like it's not in the way, you know? It's so soft that it just kind of creates a little bit of filler around the outside. Oh, I like it. I think I'm going to go with this, but I do like your idea of black too. And I think if you're looking for something a little more striking, black might be the ticket for you. We could even ink blend a little green over these two. Let's try it. I'm going to tape them down though, because I don't think I'm going to be able to hold on to them without getting my fingernails all green. So let's do a little green over these. And then we'll add a little bit of that turquoise in there. This is just whatever's left on my brush. I'm not working too hard here. And let's just see if that little bit of green. Okay, that was a lot of tape. That little bit of green, and I'm getting all green anyway. You know, the best laid plans. Let's just see if that little bit of green makes a difference. So do you like the little bit of green up there? And then mixing it in with the white? What do you think? I don't know. And it could just be that I'm not a big fan of these leaves in this mix. And what I might want to do instead is cut this down or cut another one of these. Let's see, I'll cut that there first because I think that is enough. And then maybe we'll try using these two little leaves and see if they're a little better. You like that? You liked it without the green leaves. You like the small leaves? No leaves there? We could do like kind of an odd kind of thing like that. You don't feel like there's something missing up there? Maybe a mix of the green, like one green, and then maybe another little white one peeking out. No, I don't like that. Well, we definitely know we like what we have here. Maybe, ooh, I know what we can use. I have the thing. I think we need the little sticks. So let me cut these little twigs. I'll cut one of these. I think this is gonna do it. It's different, and we can just use a tiny little piece of it. And I think we need something, because I think we need the balance. So. Okay. Oh, goodness. I'm going to need my pokey tool for this. Yes, an airy twig, Deborah. An airy twig. Love the airy twig. I think just a little bit. We may not need all of this either. Just a tiny little bit of it sticking out. Yes, that's what I want to do. That's what I was waiting for, the airy twig. Okay, so I'm going to start adhering all of these. And then I'm going to put the flower on last. And again, remember guys, you know, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. I don't know what I'm doing, but I like the way it looks. But if you guys have different opinions and you would like to do something differently, by all means, you know, you got to do it your way. So don't feel like my way. I'm saying, no, it's got to be this way. I am not like that. I'm just doing it my way, the way that I feel it looks best. Kind of love those leaves there. I like how they extend over the side there. Okay, I think this might be better using liquid glue, but too late now. Just get a little under there. There we go. And then the airy twig. probably don't need quite so much of this twig. And you know, you can cut it down and then save the little twigs for another time when you need a little something peeking out of your card. But I like that. Okay, now we're definitely going to pop this flower up. I might put this twig down a little bit more. There we go. And we're going to pop this flower up. And I think I'm going to double the foam squares. So I want this flower to be up a little bit higher. So I'm going to double them.
So there's some concern about that being able to open up.
Oh,
with all
that is a good concern. It does. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well.
Is that such a big deal?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess it is kind of a deal. So that's a good point. So maybe we put this down here so it just goes right to the corner. And we do the same with the airy twig, even though I really want the airy twig to be up high like that. We get it down here, and then we pop the flower right in here. Okay, good thinking, guys. That's why it's so important that you're here, because honestly, I wouldn't have thought of that, but there we go. That's no problem now. Okay, good thinking. Good thinking. Now, do I want to double it? Maybe not, because this is kind of high up. Maybe I will just stick with the single layer. I think I'm going to move. Now, I don't know if it's too late. No, it's not too late. I'm going to move this down a little bit so we see a little more of that. These you can see, because I'm moving the flower down just a hair so we get to see more of the twig. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to add a little embellishment here. You want the small leaves in here, like these? Like that? Is that what you guys want? I don't know. Maybe this one. Stick it behind here. I don't know. No. I'm getting a lot of no's. Okay. Abort mission. Green leaves will stay for another time. Now, do we do a pretty pearl like this, like a pink? I think we do. I just think we do. Or even one of these reddish ones. Look at that. You like that reddish one in there? Or do you prefer a pink? Because here's a pink one, which, that's so pretty. Should I be zooming in a little more? I think so. I'm going to zoom in a little more on this part. Is that still clear, Tom? I'm not in too close, right?
That is fine.
Okay. So that's the pink. I will show you the black, because I know a lot of you are like me and you love to tie it all together with a little bit of black. Oh, yeah, that's it. It's the black. Love the pinks, but I feel like that just ties everything together. Okay. Let's add that. Yeah, see, a lot of you are already saying, what about a black one? You're right. Fill that up. Pop that on there. And then to get it centered. Oh my goodness, it was centered. There we go. Okay, I think we did it. So, boy, that was kind of a lot to get to this little technique, but I think the technique is really fun. Having that kind of twisted a little bit. Yeah, and the black does make a difference. And then that fun little way to open the card. And you can just write your little message in there. And what's nice is sometimes you don't have a lot to say. And an A2 panel, an empty A2 panel, is a lot to fill up. But in here, all you could say is, hello, love. And then you could say, hi, Kathy. thinking of you, missing you, all my love, Gina. And then you don't have to write a whole book. You can just let that person know that you were thinking of them in a much tinier way. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Well, we made it through.
Wow, it's fun to walk the winding path that is a Gina K card.
I know, honestly, people probably, if you're watching for the first time, my guess is most people are like thinking, why don't you plan ahead? But it's way less fun to plan ahead, and it's way more fun to get your input and to, realize that I'm screwing up and look up and see you guys going, no, stop. I love it. I love everything about it. So, well, I hope you guys like this card. Tom, we got to give it away.
Okay, here goes.
Okay.
Drum roll, please. Woo! This beautiful, wonderful card.
Twisted flower.
Twisted flower card is going to Carol Ellerman.
Hey, Carol, congratulations. This one's going home with you. I'll be mailing it out to you, but all you have to do is send your name and address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and then I will drop it in the mail to you. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed this technique, and I hope you'll give it a try. Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night, but we may be having a special guest in the studio. We might be.
Who that?
What's that?
Who that?
Is next?
Can't tell.
I can't tell. Well, I'm afraid, because what if something happens and it doesn't work out? So if it all works out, I'm going to post it right on the live on Tuesday. So I hope you'll set your alarm for 7 p.m. on Tuesday, because it's going to be fun. Either way, it'll be fun. And then I'll be back this weekend with another 5-minute card video. I didn't do one last weekend because we were away. So I'll be back. That's tomorrow with another 5-minute card video. So I hope you'll tune in for that. In the meantime, everybody, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.